So I'm Chris, and this is Vince, and we're both mango growers and event organizers for this mango festival that we're having at the last Sunday of June. So just to sort of introduce you to the people that are involved, especially the vendors who are involved with this particular event, Vince and I are on a mission.
We're on a mission. Well, we're vendors, we're organizers, but today we're going to be going to other vendors, visiting their properties, doing some brief interviews with them, so the people coming to the festival can maybe get to know some of the vendors, because we know we have people coming from all over, from many different states, and I think it would be good for that they maybe have an idea who some of these vendors are before they get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that we'll have a few people coming from other countries also.
I've heard that.
Yeah, so it's really going to be fun. This year's event, as you probably already know, is going to be a lot different from last year's.
Inside
And much bigger.
Just inside.
Yes.
And if you don't know, it was for some people so one of the persons I was talking to, they're like, yeah, I visited Florida in June once, and that was the key. Once. Yes. They're like, it was oppressively hot with your humidity, and I was like, yes, it is.
Yeah, we recognize that. Yeah, so. Last year also, a beautiful venue, Mounts Botanical Garden, just a wonderful place to go, but not when there's hundreds of other people. It was too small for the number of people who wanted to go, and so we had to turn people away. Yeah. This year's venue, the Palm Beach County Convention Center, as you mentioned, air conditioned, protected from rain, which we also had last year, and just a whole, it should be very good. Lots of access to it with the trains that come really close to the convention center.
I think the parking is a covered garage, which is nice. I believe they have, what did they say, 1,000 or 2,000 spaces?
Yeah,
lots of parking.
Yeah, lots.
Lots of parking. So it's covered parking, plus it is near, like you said, public transportation. There's Tri-Rail that comes very near there. It's within walking distance. There's Brightline, which is in walking distance. The airport is like 10, 12 minutes away. So if you flew in, you could literally fly in for the event, Uber, and then fly back out on the same day if your tickets were arranged in such a manner.
Yeah, it's got a lot of upgrades from last year. Last year was a nice event, but this year takes it to a whole new level, and the venue is able to accommodate thousands of people. And so if you have an interest in mangoes, this is the place to be, June 29th, Palm Beach County Convention Center.
Yeah, and we're trying to encourage our vendors to give a little bit of samples, have people sample the mangoes. We are having some tastings. Most of those are sold out right now. We may release some more, but we have to make sure we have enough beautiful mangoes here for everybody to be sampling. This is a Golden Queen, by the way. It's wonderful. Anyway,
so that's sort of an overview of what is coming up as far as the event, the Mango Festival. But what we're doing today is going around to some of the vendors to sort of give you a glimpse as far as who they are and what kind of tropical fruit they like to grow. Of course, I think everybody has mangoes, but then there'll be some other fruits also.
Yeah, I'm hoping somebody maybe will bring some jackfruit or jaboticabas, soursop maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
What else? What else do you grow?
Oh, the list is long. So yeah, I think the main thing, we got such great light right now. I want to just get...
It's a beautiful day.
Yes, it is. I want to start talking to other vendors, and so let's get going on that.
Let's go into the car. So right now we're introducing a lot of our vendors for the Fruit Festival, and this is Jennifer. Jennifer, tell us about yourself and what you do, and what you're going to do hopefully at the Florida Mango Festival.
Sure. So I own a food forest design company called Food Forest DIY. I wrote a little book called Food Forest Revolution for folks who are trying to do food forest in Florida. And I just love talking with people about all the reasons that it makes sense to install a food forest in your yard, whether it's for your kids, for eating healthy, for economic reasons, saving on groceries. There's just so many reasons that a food forest makes sense.
Absolutely. That's, you're talking my language here. Yes, I think that, you are not in control of food prices at the grocery store, but you can grow, Florida is a great place to grow mangoes, but there's all sorts of other fruit trees and food trees that you can grow.
Yeah, we can grow year round, and in 1945, 50% of Americans were growing food in their backyard, and they produced 50% of all the food in the United States. That generation had the knowledge and skills to be at least partially self-sufficient. Today, Americans grow less than 1% of our own food in our own yards, and I think we need to change that.
Absolutely. South Florida is a great place to grow all sorts of things. They require very little like maintenance. The main thing you need to do if you're planting a fruit tree is pick the fruit and trim the tree when it gets too big.
Exactly.
And then it just is happy to keep doing that for years, and so whatever, if you have even a very small space, there's room for fruit trees, right?
Yes, the fact that food forest is low maintenance is the #1 thing that appealed to me, because lots of folks want to talk about raised beds and annual veggies, and I'm a working mom, that's just too much, whereas the perennials, the fruit trees are set it and forget it, and that's the kind of thing I need.
Yeah, I know for me personally, me and my wife, we try to do some gardening. We fail miserably at it every year. I'm glad it's not a metaphor for the marriage, because the gardening fails but the marriage succeeds.
Yes.
But the trees, we do much better. Soursop, jackfruit, avocados, hit and miss. Might be removing that one.
And your mango trees look fabulous.
Thank you. But the mango trees, thank you.
It's such an easy thing. You have to just establish the tree and make sure it gets watered while it's developing its root system. But after that,
it takes off.
Yeah,
right?
it's pretty much on its own. It needs very little.
So you do design and consultation on so like if somebody's maybe had a certain focus on maybe the types of trees or types of fruit, you could help plan that or maybe lead them into a direction.
Yes.
Or if that direction's not working for them, maybe because of location or maintenance, maybe it's a tree or that's a little higher maintenance than they realize.
Yes, a diva, what I call a diva tree.
Diva tree. What's a diva tree? Do you have any off the top of your head? I know what a diva is. There
are plenty, because we're in Jupiter, so there are some that might work in West Palm that really just aren't working in Jupiter or aren't fruiting as well. But yeah, I do consultation, design, even just helping people think through variety selection. They really like avocados. How do we cover the season? Summer, fall, winter, having a good spread, things like that.
Do you have an opportunity for them to taste and sample some of those avocados? Because I know like in mangoes, we oftentimes will encourage people to sometimes wait till mango season to buy their tree just so they can taste it, because I can tell you personally, I bought a mango tree that I was all excited about, and then once I tasted it, I quickly dug the tree up and put it into a unimportant area of the yard.
Yeah. We have smaller trees in the nursery, so most of them aren't producing avocados, but I do encourage people, go to Caribbean Plants and Produce, go to Robert is Here, go to the places where you can get local fruit and give it a try.
Perfect.
So Jen, one quick question to wrap up is, what were you doing before you
started doing this?
Started this, this really great.
I was doing nothing like this at all. I was doing nonprofit fundraising for an organization that I really care about. I was with them for 10 years, and you know how you've done something for a long time, it just becomes kind of wrote, and you almost get bored, like I just need a challenge. Like, this is really fun, but I just need something more challenging because it's been so long.
I've been teaching 22 years.
Right? And I feel like I was just out in the garden and doing this as a hobby. And I think I didn't realize, honestly, how much this was therapy for me, with a little bit of ADHD and certain things in my background. And then I finally felt like it's time to take the leap, because after COVID, I started hosting food forest tours here, and literally every Saturday morning there were 20 people at the gate. And over 2 years of just having fun, doing this for fun, I had hosted hundreds of people on the property, doing education, realizing there's so much hunger for this. I need to do this full time.
Yeah, excellent. And you know, one thing about growing fruit trees and stuff, it's like therapy.
Yes.
It's, you know, if there's stress in your life, what
Sure.
you need to do is do something constructive outside.
Yes.
And I
It's
think
so
that's great. Yeah.
it's so healthy. Like for me, as everybody knows, I teach middle school for a long time. And so it's nice to come out with my trees sometimes and walk around and look at them and just
Yeah.
it's a relaxing time. I notice over here though you have a fig tree
I do have figs.
and you keep them in a pot.
What we do is
'Cause
we
I know,
plant
like,
them
I've
in the
tried
ground in a pot.
Oh,
So
okay.
we put a 25-gallon pot in the ground, so it looks like it's in the bed, just like everything else. And then we pack it with good soil, but it
Right,
never hits native soil.
So that's your secret, because
Mm-hmm.
I've had a couple fig trees. I tried it because I love figs also, especially, you know, I'm a southerner, so I like preserved figs with, you know, lots of sugar.
Yeah.
But
Sugar with a little fig.
yeah, well, you ever preserve your figs? You ever
It looks,
preserve
again, when you walk up to the bed, it looks like they're in the ground, but
them? Well, you ever preserve the
No.
fig though, and
Not yet.
canning and jarring? It's a, you know, South Georgia thing and all
Yeah.
that. But anyway, yeah, I tried a few figs and have failed miserably and had the nematodes. If you
Totally.
guys don't know, nematodes in South Florida will destroy certain trees quickly, and the fig is one of them.
Totally.
So that's the
we
secret.
protect it.
See, so come talk to her at the Florida Mango Festival. She'll give you some tips and tricks and secrets for growing things like fig. What kind of fig is that one?
I've got brown turkey and black mission.
Okay.
So we are here with Jen, who designs fruit forests and is fabulous. And I think that you will be a wonderful, well, sort of a vendor. It's
Yeah.
like you're not selling that much in the way of trees, but selling
More
your
education and
services
information.
such.
Yeah, right.
And so June 29th is really going to be a special day.
Yes.
Of course, that's the Mango Festival, but everybody who goes to the Mango Festival, stop by her booth and say, "Happy birthday!" Her birthday is June 29th. Is that fabulous?
Super funny.
Be a big birthday party. Hopefully
Exactly. With lots
3,000
of awesome people who love fruit.
who love
It's the
fruit.
best.
Yes, they are fruit fanatics. So you're coming to the festival, the Florida Mango Festival.
Yes.
What are you most excited about for being at the festival?
I just love talking to people. So I do lots of different, you know, conventions and places where what'll be fun about this is the average person attending might know more about fruit trees than I'm used to. Like in May, I speak at the Florida Homeschool Convention, and in situations like that or at a farmer's market, I'm typically talking to people who maybe haven't thought about this before, or
Right.
this is a new concept for them. So it'll be a lot of fun to hang out with fruit geeks, my favorite kind of people.
Yeah, excellent. We look forward to it.